We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stephenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stephenson, you'll find your light.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night wherever you are. Welcome to Life-Changing Conversations to Inspire Actions, where we challenge you to reflect deeply and take bold steps towards transformation. I am your host, Dr. Laxley Stephenson. In each episode, we uncover the powerful life-defining moments. Guests who have changed lives, done amazing things. But I want you to understand this isn't just about their stories. It's about you, the listener. It's about your actions to ignite your purpose and create meaningful change in your life. Today, I am joined by a remarkable guest, Miss Sherril Edmonson-Ramsaroop. Together, we will cut through the noise, tap into your potential, and inspire action. The time for change is now. So let us get started. Just a quick word about my guest today. Mrs. Sherril Edmonson-Ramsaroop. She's a motivator, entrepreneur, leader, educator, and manager. She hails from Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. She is a dynamic leader, educator, and entrepreneur with over 34 years of experience in education and management. Raised as the 10th of 12 children in a God-fearing, impoverished family, she overcame challenges through faith and a dedication to education, becoming a teacher at 19 and excelling in her field. She has held senior leadership roles, transforming institutions and empowering students through her initiatives like international work programs and mentorship. Founder of Glory Rain and owner of the Ultimate Biz Beauty Salon, Sherril is committed to empowering individuals, fostering community growth, and championing faith based outreach. Her story exemplifies resilience, purpose, and the impact of education. Now, let us bring her on. Hey, Sherril, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon, or I don't know what time is it, but I'm very good today. I'm doing well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the
I'm
show.
happy to be here and I'm ready to share.
You're ready to share? All right,
Yeah.
and we're ready to listen to you today. So just tell us a little bit about something about yourself. I did introduce you and I read your bio, but from your perspective, share a little bit about yourself with us, please.
I'm always a very enthused person, highly motivated in whatever the circumstances may be. I am, always ready to help. I'm a resilience, which means I can bounce anytime anything that is happening. I'm always there to bounce back because I like growth and development, and so I foster a lot of persons in that regard.
Wow. You started as a teacher very early in your life. What motivated you to become a teacher?
Sometimes I wonder myself. However, I didn't want to be a teacher, but because of poverty, I believe it was the least expensive way to go. I really wanted to be a hotel manager, which I did after all. So I wanted to be a hotel manager first of all. But however, when I started teaching, I realized this was what the Lord had for me. So I just stick it out and I'm there from the beginning until the end. However, I still do work in the hotel industry at some point in time. That's what I
Mhm.
wanted. But I realized that God wanted something else for me. So there I am in teaching. My older sister was also a teacher. And I didn't know much from her because we didn't share in that sense. So I think I'm just, there as God given purpose as a teacher.
Hmm. You are from a family of 12 children. You're one of 12. How was it
12.
like growing up in such a large, family?
12 children at one point. First thing I can remember, at one point, I think six of us were on the same bed,
Mm.
six of us from the 12. And we were like in like a two-bedroom house. Then we had three bedrooms after that. And it was difficult because my parents both were not working as like a set job. They would have done, things like a little farming here and there. And my mother was like, at the time, they call it a dressmaker. So she was like a seamstress, so she would have made maybe uniforms and stuff like that for students, but that was all there was. So we lack a lot. There was not enough food, but we had lots of fruit trees because we lived on like a 3 acre property. So we had fruits, and that was what caused us to be living now. We had fruits, and we had, I can't remember this one. We had cows, so we had cow's milk.
Mm.
So I think that was what caused us all to stand, in that sense. It
So
was
there was
difficult. There was
there
a
was
lot
al-
to it.
there was always food on the table, and
There's always food.
much of
It
it
was,
came from the earth, from the ground where you live and you produce it, right? Through farming, you had your cows and you had milk and all that good stuff.
yeah.
But one thing your parents did, they emphasized education and good values, despite the financial struggles.
No matter
How
what, they would have asked us to go to school. It doesn't matter what. So many occasions I went to school without any food at all for the whole day. So and many times I had nothing to eat for the whole for lunch or breakfast. I didn't have breakfast. I remember in high school, I used to walk like 10 miles in the mornings before I get the first transportation. I would have walked 7 to 10 miles many, many days for maybe 90% of my time. I would have walked 10 miles to get the first transportation. And I had to reach school before 8. So I left home by 4:30 in the mornings. And it wasn't, even if it was raining real hard, we had to go. They said go to school.
Wow.
And many times I wouldn't have fare, bus fare, taxi to pay. But in those days, people would say, "Come, come, you can sit here, you can go," you know. So I really appreciate those persons who allowed me to, like, be in their transportation without paying anything. But they always say, "Go." I remember I cried one day because I was so hungry. So I went to the gate of the school to ask one of the man that was selling ice. They were selling ice at that time. What is it called? Sky juice. I think they were selling ice with syrup. So I went to the gate and I begged and I asked for some. He said, "I can give you a bag, but I can give you some in your hand." So I stretched my hand out and I got a little ice with a little syrup on top of it. That was my lunch.
Wow.
And that happens so many times. So many times.
Mm. Finding food, so food to eat was not always the easiest thing to do, I think.
No. However,
Mhm.
I realized long afterwards, like, no, I could have taken like maybe cane or some fruits, but I didn't understand. It was lack of knowledge then that I could have packed maybe some kind of fruits because we always have maybe some kind of fruits at home. Rose apple, star apple, cane, sugar cane,
Right.
but we didn't know.
At the time, you didn't know. Tell us a little bit about Linstead. Linstead, where you're from. Tell
All
us a
right, there's
little.
a famous song, Karami Ake, to Linstead Market. That's a famous one of the folk song of Jamaica. But Linstead is like, I would say, a medium-sized community. It's in the rural area. In that area, you have a lot of farmers and little development in terms of commercial, but it's a very quiet place and nice to live. And the famous market makes the city the city. The famous market, Linstead Market.
That song, Carry Me Akigwa Linstead Market. The thing about that song, not a quite what sell, right? They
That quarter would sell. That market wasn't selling anything.
were selling nothing. So that's interesting. What an amazing song, though. That's part of our history, right? Not just Linstead and where you're from, but Jamaica, right? History. Becoming a trained teacher at 19 and excelling in your field is quite an achievement, especially from where you're coming from. What is the motivation for you to achieve at such a young age?
At the age of 14, 13, I remember at the age of 13, I decided to run away from home. So I
Mm,
said, I can't take it anymore. So I made up my mind I'm going to leave my home now. And because I just can't take this anymore. It was too much. I had to walk every morning. I had to do it was just a lot on me. So I made up my mind I'm gonna go. So I went to school, and when I went, it was like after lunchtime. I was deciding to go and live somewhere. I don't know where I was gonna live. I decided I'm gonna stay in the market, and so I left. And after lunch, I remember quite well. I was 13 years old. Um, I said not going to go home. I decided I'm not going back. I heard in my ears, it was the first time I ever believed that a word can come from God, or it was like that. Because I always laugh at people when they say, I heard God. I was like, they're lying. But I heard the voice says, when you run away, what are you going to do? You're going to be worse off. It was loud. Like I could hear a sentence. When you run away, what are you going to do? I was like, who talking to me? I didn't tell anybody this. I was like looking behind me. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my sisters. I didn't tell anybody. And I heard a clear. That was when I recognized there's really like a God, a God, a true God, a real God that was talking. And I didn't want to go. I stayed. Then that very day, I said to myself, listen to this one. This one is really funny. I said, I must be a professional. And I said, I must get married. And I said, I must have a house and I must have a car. That's what I said. And I was like, must get married. I didn't know anything about marriage. I was 13 years old.
mm.
So that's what I heard I wasn't talking out loud as I was in class. So I was like saying it loud inside of me. I know I said, I must be a professional. I must get married. And I must have a house and I must have a car. And that was what motivated me to push, to go to higher levels of studies easily. It wasn't easy, but it was easy in my mind.
So from that early age, you were setting goals without even noticing and realizing that's what you were doing. Setting big goals, marriage, owning a car, just all those things, progressive things that people do, right? People who are doing well in life. And you're
Right.
setting those goals. And of course, you did realize all of those goals. They all.
All of them. And guess what? I realized this goal without owing a cent. This is
Mm,
really, this is really magnificent. This
mm,
is
mm.
really great. Without having any like debts. This is great. It's like it's unbelievable, but it's believable because I know who God is.
And you attribute that to that voice you heard, right? That
I
voice that
believe so.
whispered to you, a shout, loud whisper, right?
God
Came to
whisper.
you loud. Wow, at such an early age. What you did some amazing work teaching 6 to 8 students for preparing them for regional examinations in just 1 year. How did that whole experience shaped your philosophy, your teaching philosophy?
Wow. You know, working my first job as a teacher, I didn't do an interview. Two person. I mean, there are many schools. I think it was like a job fair, and they came and the teacher, the lecturers at college says, take her, she will do well, take her, So I didn't do an interview. So the principal from the high school just took me in, and there I was, I'm always highly motivated no matter what I'm going through. Nobody would know at college that I didn't have a dollar to buy like even sweets. Nobody would know. I had nothing. So when I went to high school now, I took that same motivation with me. And when I went there, I was like, the students are not doing regional exams. All they're doing is local exam, which doesn't take you anywhere. I couldn't believe, you know. So when I got this, I was teaching the higher levels, which is grades 10 and 11. So I grade 11 class, which was final year of high school. I had two classes. Um, I decided, no, I don't think it's fair for these students not to be taking regional exams. They're not going to go anywhere afterwards, as according to how it sets up in Jamaica. So I sat and I said, I can do it. I can do it. Because I always know I can do what I can do. It doesn't matter what inside of me is always saying, you can do it. And just the same, I pass it on to everybody that I meet that they can do it. So it was kind of easy for me to do that. So I went to the students and I said, do you want to take the CXC exam, which is regional exam? And they were like, we're not going to manage. I said, yes, you can. And they're saying, but it's only 1 year and it's 2 years. I said, yes, you can. And I said, if you agree to do it, then I will be there to work with you. And I went to my principal and he said, if you can do it, go ahead. You know what I did? I taught context reading. I taught morals. I taught attitudes. And then I taught content. So I had to take it from scratch because the community in which the school is, that it was like, the school was called I think it was like baby mother school, because every young people who goes to the school will have gotten pregnant by the age of like 14, 13. And so there was a stigma attached to the school that nobody goes anywhere, nobody makes it. And I really hated that. It really bothered me. And I was 19 years old. It bothered me a lot. And I said, no, I want to do something. I am going to cause a change. I have to make a change. And I taught the students, but guess what I did then? I couldn't do it now, I don't believe. I took the students home where I used to rent. I rented this 1 bedroom, but I had a long back veranda, porch. And I had the students there on Saturdays, going through work on Saturdays, sometimes Sunday evenings. But the school didn't know this. And so that's what I had them there. I also had them in the evenings at school. So I had them morning, noon, night, weekends, and everybody passed the exam. Only one girl failed one of the exams.
Mm. Only one of the 68 didn't, huh?
Right.
Wow. And so you had to take some extraordinary measures. You went beyond the parameters established by the school. You
And
did
it
things.
was fun. You know what we did? I like prepare meals for them. I cook for them on weekends
Mhm.
because they didn't have anything either. That was the amazing part. And we all sat on the floor, we didn't have chairs. So we were all sitting on the floor, going through work. It was exciting.
What are the implications? What if the school had, you know, officials from the school that discover that this is what you're doing?
Wow. While I was teaching the class, when I sent the students for the exam, even the vice principals, there were two vice principals, and everybody else, they would come to my door and said, "What is she doing? She's going to embarrass the school. Why is she here doing this? This is going to be, you're going to embarrass because everybody's going to fail, so we're going to all embarrass. Why is the principal allowing her to do this?" I didn't pay them any mind. They will be at my they'll be they will have been intimidating me. They'll stand at my door. I saw this many, many times. They'll come at my classroom door and they will stand there and talk about me for an hour or 40 minutes. And they will say, "What is she doing? This is foolishness. She's going to embarrass us." I kept on going and I kept on going and I kept on going for the 1 year. And I saw progress. Every step of the way, I saw progress. I saw where the students could make a sentence. So every day would I would like make sentences with words from the content. And and we would have made like DJ, Jamaican used to do it reggae. So they would have to like create a reggae song from whatever content is. And they would have to create like a poem for whatever content is. They'll create a folk song from the content. So we use different things. It was fun. So after a while, they had to put me to the back of the school because my class is always making noise and having fun. So they put my class at the end of the corridor. So we had they were always having fun in my class. Some people, students don't normally goes to class, but my class would have been always packed. And everybody wanted to be in my class.
All the students wanted to be in your class because the fun class. You were also learning, so not just fun, but learning in a fun way. So you founded the talent club at your school, and which was quite challenging for you because, of course, there were other people, your colleagues did not see things the way you see it. Yet there was some inspiration for the students to find their identity and purpose, despite the skepticism from colleagues. How was that whole process? And is this something that you still do with the talent club?
Yes, I do. I do. Now it is attitude, hospitality, attitude, talent.
Okay.
So what I do, I teach the hospitality, attitude, talent. The talent club in high school was for me to just find their talent and their purpose, and it came out very well because we entered competitions, lots of competitions, and they won. So it was excitement in high school as well because they would have a lot of trophies, and they would have won competitions, singing competition, dancing competition. They would have learned to be a host. For sure, I taught all of that because I was also involved in training Miss Jamaica. I didn't mention that in my bio, but when persons were entering missing the parishes, I was a trainer as well as a designer for them. So I trained them and designed the persons who enter Miss Jamaica and so forth. So I took that in the high school as well, where we had a competition for Mr. and Mrs. whoever the high school is. So that was one of part of it. So they learn a lot of leadership roles and responsibilities. So currently I do hospitality, attitude, talent, which means I am a part of the hospitality industry. And I realize that students are like very fearful, they are timid, they lack knowledge in terms of the industry, and they don't know how to get out there to be excellent in the industry, because you have to have that kind of attitude in terms of bringing it in the industry so you can make it on top, because you have to be sociable. Number one, you have to be able to socialize, and you have to be able to communicate right. And so I teach them how to do all of this. I see persons who have come from rural areas where they couldn't even talk a sentence. They can't speak a word. And I've taken them out of that altogether, change that mindset, change that way of thoughts, and take them into where they want to go, because I would have showed them. And so that's why I would have mentioned that I will take them to the hotel. I will have connection with the hotels. And in these hotels, I would go there and say, these are students who are, impoverished and they can't afford. So I would have made, great communication with them. And then I will take over 100 students to the hotel and let them experience the feeling of being in a hotel. And that, of course, changed a lot about them. They get to experience, and it's all-inclusive hotels. So they get to experience all-inclusive. It was like real good for them. And I continue to do this.
It no, where do you find 100 students who are willing to take this on? And is this a paid service, or this just some volunteer work you're doing?
This is pure volunteer work, pure volunteer work. Sort of, these students are at the college where I am currently, and the club would consist of the students doing the associate's degree and the bachelor's degree, and I would have a few that are doing the certificate program, which is the heart program. And so the club consists of these students. So they will learn to speak every day. We have learned to host a function. So every week, every Thursday, we have this club. So they will learn to set up a buffet, because we have free buffet with whatever it is, sandwich, stuff like that. So they learn to set it up and let it look real, like they're out there. So they learn the hands-on from inside. And so that when they go out, they know how to appreciate. The students are from all over Jamaica, I believe, not all over, St. Catherine, Clarendon, yes, because we are in Portmore.
Right, right. So primarily from St. Catherine, Clarendon area. That's where the
Right.
students are. And there are students that you're currently teaching, or they're attending the institution where you're teaching as well.
Yes.
So okay, and there are no fees for this. Now, how can a student from outside of your institution, that where you're signed, get involved with something like this program? How can they get involved? Hospitality Attitude Club. How can they get involved? Or is
I
it
thought
open?
about I thought about expanding, but I think that was where I think I lack a little bit in pushing forward to expand from just in the college to out to having others from outside. I wanted to do with Glory Rain in that area, but I've not yet gone to that as yet, to bring them through Glory Rain. But that's one part of Glory Rain that would take these students into those areas, to access going to a hotel or traveling. Um, in that regard, so they can lift the morale. The morale of of many young people are very low because they see themselves as little, or not knowing a lot, or not have access to. So the mindset has to be changed, and that's so they can understand that there's a purpose deep within inside of them, and that's what I really dig deep into, letting young people know that there is something good in everybody. And that's why a lot of lecturers would have said, oh, you get along so well with these students. It's like they're always around you, they're always around me, like a lot. My office sometimes has 15 students standing talking for 10 minutes, and they don't want to leave. I'm like, you have to leave now, so that another set can come inside, you know. So I don't even know how I get to do my work, because I'm always doing students. I'm always having these students in my office and these are like students in their bachelor's degree program, but I just don't teach. That's the smallest part of my job. The greatest part for me is empowering and motivating, because they can learn. But when they learn, what do they do with it? That's my passion. What do they do when they learn something? Because just having an A's and a B in whatever you're doing cannot get you out there, especially in today's society. It will not take you out there. You have to understand the background to this, the root of what you're getting yourself into, so that you can be impactful and you can make meaningful contribution to whatever you're getting yourself into. And then when they found themselves in this purpose and in this space, they're so excited about themselves. Their whole attitudes change, their demeanor changed, their dress changed, the way they walk changed, the way they talk changed. And that's the excitement with these students. When I see the change, I'm so happy.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's the selection process like to be selected to attend your school?
Okay. We offer associate degrees and bachelor's of science degrees. So the selection process is that they should have CXCs, and it should be at least 5 to enter into any of these degrees. But however, we start with 4, because it's a community college. So we must be able to help them from the roots up. So we allow them to start with 4, but they must do the next one during their studies. There are many students who apply to come, especially in the business area and the hospitality areas. But engineering areas and nursing is always like open for students coming. But we have a lot of students applying because there are many high schools in St. Catherine and Clarendon, which the market is from, and in Portmore, as from St. Catherine. They have 2 branches, however. There's a branch in Old Harbour and there's a branch in Portmore. And so, we recruit from January until May. And so, yes, we recruit from January until May. And sometimes we go up to August because many students don't get their exams, they don't get their results until in the month of August. So we still have to do, we still have to accept students in that time.
What is your status at the school, your position?
Okay. Currently, I'm the vice principal in charge of administration and operations. So my role is to ensure that all things is in order. Every aspect of the college is in order in terms of policies. And yes, so we have to follow the policies of the government. It's a government institution, of course. It's owned by the government. So we have to ensure that we follow all rules and policies that are set out to operate the college. It's
right.
fun.
And just so our audience, listeners who are watching now will watch the replay, what is the name of your school?
Okay, the name of my school is Portmore Community College. It's the community college in St. Catherine. And of course, it is the college of choice. And we have most affordable school fees. And of course, the most guaranteed payment plan. And that's what the children of Jamaica have problems with and challenge with. And so we have already put that in a package, nicely set out to ensure that everybody makes it and makes it well.
And once a student graduates with a bachelor's degree, what's the likelihood of them being employed in employment?
I can tell you, everybody, I can say 90% of the students are employed. For the hospitality department where I'm a part of, many of them migrate. They migrate immediately because they go on what we call work and travel program. And they understand, the basics of working in another country. And it may, but a lot of them are managers in Jamaica as well. I have managers in Florida. There's one girl who she hit the record of being the best housekeeping manager in Florida for the state. And yes, and all the hotels in Jamaica, a lot of them, not all, many of the hotels in Jamaica, they would have asked me for people. I don't have to send them to go and apply. They send to me for them because of the impact that they make when they go there.
So many of your students are employed in Jamaica, right? In different hotels and institutions out there, and many are also working in other countries.
In other countries.
So you're certainly creating opportunities. Let us take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about your faith and ministry work. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back.
I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Look, loving others as he told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, he is in me. I am a bold kid, he loves me, standing firm on his word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because he is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor, and I let his word blessing come out of my mouth, because I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying his presence wherever he sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
Right, welcome back to Life Changing Conversations. Today, my guest is Mrs. Sherril Edmonson-Ramsaroop, and she is here to impact actions. Welcome back, Sherril. Let's talk a little bit about your work, your faith and ministry work. You know, faith has played a significant role in your life and career. Can you share how your faith helped you navigate challenges, the things that you've had to deal with, you know, and how it has helped you support your daughter's education?
God is good. God is good. I know He is. I believe I go back to the what I shared at the age of 13, that I realized that there is a true God at the age of 13. You know, when He spoke to me. So I stayed in track of serving that God from then. However, yes, I was sidetracked. You know, when you go to college, you easily get sidetracked at some point in time at college. So yes, that was there. Not a big time, I wouldn't say, just a little bit. And so I've been serving God for a long time. And I remember, I want to share quickly my faith. I understand faith from growing up without nothing and moving on to, you know, even where I am now. I know it's just God and faith. I went through this, you know, very, 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 you know, challenging time. But it was, for me, it wasn't that much challenging because I understand who God is. So at one point in my teaching career, I was not very long ago. I think it was like 20, I don't remember, 2020, maybe 2019. No, before it was COVID, yeah, before COVID. So it was before, maybe 2018. I went to the doctor for my regular checkup, you know, and it was like, oh, you have to come back, do this test and all that. I collected this test. It was like, oh, there is signs of cancer. Cancer is there. So I went to do my next test. So when I did the next test, they was like, okay, there are signs of cancer. And the doctor was like, and I realized you have to do you have fibroids and it's dangerous and you're going to have to do a surgery right now. So you need to call your workplace, call your health service immediately and go up to University of the West Indies. I have to make an appointment now to remove the fibroids. That's what the doctor said to me in maybe 2 minutes. I was like, how can you just tell me this like that, you know? But I this was when I started attending a faith-based church. I was a part of the Baptist Union first, and then I think the Lord moved me. I didn't try to move myself. And so I was like, how am I going to manage this? And I said, I've learned that there's no way you can do surgery and chemo. So I was like, how is this going to happen now? Eh? But I grabbed onto myself immediately. I don't know how I did it. This is not me. Immediately, right in the doctor's office, I said no. And I said it bravely and boldly. I said no. And I did not. He said, go to the hospital now and make an appointment. I didn't go. I took myself out and I went. It was like upstairs. I went downstairs. I went in my car and I go straight to work. I head straight to work and I worked for the rest of the day. I did all my work and I blocked it from my mind immediately and I went to work that day. I went home and I didn't say anything to my husband because I know he would have maybe died before the day ends. So I know the type of person, so I didn't tell it. So I went to my God and I said, Father, it is impossible for your daughter to be diagnosed cancer and for a voice to be removed immediately. And I said, God, I'm relying on you. And I left it there. I didn't go back on it. I didn't go back to the doctor. I didn't go anywhere. So this was like coming on to Good Friday. So on Good Friday night, I was online because I didn't start it. I was online with a ministry in Canada. So I was online. It's my niece church. It's my niece church. So I go online to church. So I was online, and the pastor was preaching, and he said, just as Jesus rose from the grave alive, he said, there are many of you who are in a dead situation, and you're going to come out alive in 3 days. I said, that's me. So, and I left it there. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was like Good Friday. On Sunday morning, when I woke up, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk to the bathroom. I had to like almost creep on my hands to get to the bathroom. My back was so much pain. And so when I went to the bathroom, it was so much pain all along, but I didn't say anything to my husband all along. So when I take my time and I went to the bathroom, basically crawling, bending down low as I could because I couldn't walk straight at all. And when I went to the bathroom, I came back. This was always after 5 in the morning. And when I came back, I tried to lie straight on my back to ease the pain. And I put my hands straight, and I was like straight, just to get ease of the pain and stuff like that without saying anything. And this was after 5 in the morning. And I said, God, remember that I believe that this is the third day. I said, God, this is the third day. And I said, I know that I'm believing that that's for me. I went off in a little bit of, I don't know what you call that, but I just went out of me. And I saw myself off the bed in a straight line up in the air like that. I was like 3 feet. I was 3 feet off the bed. I saw myself in the air, 3 feet off the bed. And then I saw myself going back down on the bed. No, before I saw myself in the air, I feel a touch. I feel something slap me on my tummy, on my belly area. And it was so cold. It froze. It was frozen. It was so cold. I was frozen. And then I saw myself in the air. I saw my body in the air. And then it went back down on the bed. And when I came back down, I realized I was healed. So I got up and I stood up straight, no pain. I curled in a little ball, no pain. I rolled over, no pain. I did everything, no pain. I was like, God, thank you. And then that was when my husband heard me shouting no. That was the first thing he knew. Because, and I said, I thank you, Lord. I was jumping up and down and saying, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. And I decided I'm not going to test anything. For over a year, I heard nothing from the doctor, and I did nothing. About a year and some months, the doctor called. Why did they make you do this? Because it was after a year. And I said, God, I thank you. I just want to give you the glory. And that was it. I have not done any surgery at all. I have not done any surgery. I was totally healed. Fibroids healed, cancer healed, totally healed. Immediately, just like that. So I was like, God, is it because I was always doing good? I was like, God, why am I privileged to this? Why am I so privileged? There are many people who have prayed and asked you, and I know that they didn't experience this. There are many who have asked and they didn't come. But why me? And I'm telling you, from then on, before then though, the Lord has been using me, so much to do work on earth. And I love it. I said, God, I'm really available. Use me for your glory. That was one area. Another one, my daughter was going to college, and one day it was college, it was exam day. She's in medicine. It takes a lot of money, And so I couldn't pay the school fee. It was exam day. It was 1 o'clock, the exam starts, and it was 12:30. And they said that she cannot go in the exam. I said, stand at the door. She's in Kingston. I am in Old Harbor. I said, stand at the door, don't move. And she was like, Mom, you have to go because it's embarrassing. I said, Swan, don't move. Stay right where you are. Don't move. I was calling the bank, calling all over the place. I wasn't getting through, I made one call and I heard it was like 20 minutes to the hour. The bank called me to say, I'm giving you $800,000. And so they sent it immediately to the college. And so she went in the exam. I stood praying all along. And I didn't get excited. I didn't get, I didn't try to get excited and worried and how it's going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. And so she took it.
Hmm. So through your faith, you have had some amazing experiences, successes in your life. Back to that situation with your doctor wanting you to go in and have all these tests done. Have you ever gone back to
To the
have
test?
anything? Yeah, to
No,
anything since.
no.
Mm, I'm talking the level of confidence, the level of faith, and you know how you feel. You're doing great.
Yes, yes. That's like probably 2018. Yeah, I think it was my 2018 or 2017, somewhere there.
Mhm. Wow, that's just powerful, powerful testimony. It's a powerful story, and I thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And your daughter, I'm sure that was an inspiration for you to see her through medical school as well.
She's also, and she's still there also. She at one point she wanted to break, but I keep on telling her all things are possible. The
Mhm.
world belongs to the Lord, the earth is the Lord. I said, all things are possible, the earth is the Lord's. Don't worry, you're gonna get through. You don't have
And,
to worry about it.
and now she's using her medical practice to give back and do work out there.
And she is like that. She volunteers a lot, a lot. She volunteers a lot. Even COVID, she volunteers to work night and day, volunteering. I didn't tell her. She did it all by herself. She
Mhm.
volunteers a lot.
And one of the things that you've used your gifts, right? There's a saying you got to use your gifts to get more gifts, right? What you have done also is you lead a team of over 30 ministers.
Yes.
Tell us about the work that you're doing there.
All right. So when ministers are ordained, I train the ministers in leadership. Um, you know, and they are assigned to 7 different branches. And I lead in terms of ensuring that they keep focus. I lead in terms of knowing their roles and responsibilities, what's required of them, and also to line themselves with the Word of God each day to ensure that they stand at the right place at all times, so they serve in the kingdom of God and the ministry well. So we have different trainings, meetings. We go into communities a lot. So where the church is located, even though it was a volatile community, but now, oh, that's great change in that community since the church has been there for like 8 years now. There's so much change, so that persons are now developing housing developments. The business areas have been restored greatly, and so those business persons have been helping the church a lot without asking,
Mm.
because they're feeling real good. It was almost down to nothing, but the church has made an impact. I know it's not about the church; it's about God.
You know,
Yes.
I have my challenges balancing my time, because I'm having the personal life, I'm doing my charitable work and my professional life, and you are very busy. You're very busy. You're doing a lot. You how do you balance your situation?
One, I am always excited about what I'm doing, so it's passionate. I'm passionate about what I do, and I organize. I prioritize and organize and put things into perspective as much as I can. And added to this, I even do counseling. I do a lot of counseling, individual counseling, a lot, and I prioritize. I have days for when I do mainly work for church or for school or for charity. I will have a plan, and I work with the plan as much as I can. However, I don't know what the energy is just there. It's just going, going, going. Because I still have to do my family, and I do spend time with my family. I do spend that time, but I make effort to ensure that I stick into the time that I have planned as much as possible. You know, and I have a lot of children. I have a lot of children that are excelled. They become my children, especially from Glory Rain. They call me Mama Sherril. So from Glory Rain, everybody call me Mama Sherril, right? That's my name from Glory Rain. So
Hmm.
yeah, I have a lot and I have to attend to my children, all of them. So, I remember one of my son, I met him at the age of 44. And when I asked him, what can you do? He said, nothing. I said, nothing. He wasn't doing anything. He didn't have a dollar. And I said, you can't live like this. And I said to him, he said, I can't do anything. I said, okay, go get a driver's license. So, because he must get the driving or something, you can't just stay there without any dollar, nothing. So he went and he did he got his driver's license, and he came back, and in 2 weeks, a lady came and said, oh, for a catering company, I need a driver for my catering company. I said, here he is. So he got that job as in the catering company. He wasn't making a lot first, but then his attitude was so good that he started to do everything for the catering company, everything, the shopping, the everything. So his pay like tripled in like 3 months. And then he owned the car. He could take the vehicle home and go to where he wants in less than 3 months. And then from there, what he learned there in the catering company, somebody called again and said, I need somebody to work in Cayman Islands. And he's now in Cayman Islands working. He owns his own house. He has 2 cars in Jamaica. I'm in charge of the business in Jamaica for him. I take care of his things here, and this is like this happens like in 2 years.
And another job that you do on top of all the other things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned your initiative, Glory Rain, and I know it's having some powerful impact on individuals and communities. But can you tell us a little bit more about Glory Rain? What is it all about? What inspired you to come up with this initiative?
Okay, Glory Rain came in because I saw so many inner city, rural, or people who don't have knowledge. They lack knowledge so much, and that's they lack information. So Glory Rain is really to inspire, motivate, empower. Empower is the biggest word in all three. So I take them from little stage, tiny stage, or nowhere at all to ensure that they reach their purpose and can contribute to themselves and to others in their communities. So that's what Glory Rain does. It takes people from the hand to build their faith and their trust, and to ensure they walk in their purpose, and to ensure that they have a destiny. They know where they're going. So that's what Glory Rain does.
In almost everything that you do, purpose is a big part, a big piece of it. And so at what stage, in your life did you came to that realization that purpose is so important and to be so intentional?
I think I was maybe the age of 14, right after the 13-year-old incident. I think the age of 14, I realized that everybody can do something and have access to things. Sometimes it may not be, know, but I know from then that everybody can make it. And my background, where I'm coming from, I realized from then that I too myself can make it. So I saw a purpose in myself then, because I didn't see myself as anything. I was going to run away. I was going to throw myself in the woods, live like cave people. That's what I saw. But it was changing in splits of a second. And so I used that motivation that came from myself. My parents tried, but it was very difficult, but I knew they tried somewhat, to instill in me, go to school. That's all I know. But I was motivated then from the words I've spoken. I spoke this word, I must be a professional. I must be, I must do this. And I saw myself there. I took it on from there. And I think I was inspired by myself a lot. And there are couple of persons that were around me, but I pushed from there to say, okay, everything is possible and everybody can get something and everybody can make it in life. It's all there for everybody to get. It's there. There is always something behind each person, each individual. There is something inside of you that can make your life different. There's something great inside of everybody. Because if I could look at myself earlier, I would have said, I need to go live in the woods. I was going to live in a cave. I saw myself living in a cave or in the market. That's what I saw. But I realized, oh Lord, I thank God, that there was something different inside of me that I didn't see. And I don't know if I don't hear anybody say it was there, but I thank God that he pointed it out. And so I use this same thing to encourage others to say that there is something great inside of every person. And
Mm.
it may be hidden, or you may know it and not doing anything about it, but it can be materialized. And so it can manifest in your life to let you know who you really are. Everybody need to know, who am I? You know? And that's what came to me. And so I worked hard, but I worked hard, but it was like so, it was so beautiful. If you hear anybody say that they're working hard and it's beautiful, that's me. I work hard, and everybody know it. My colleagues would say she worked hard, but you're like, oh, you look so relaxed. When you
Mm.
manage to be so relaxed, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how. I'm just excited about what I do, and so you know, it brings out every things like that out of me, and I impart it to others, and I take pleasure a lot. Up to 12 midnight, I'll be helping somebody on the phone. 1 a.m., I'll be helping somebody to do something to get somewhere. Yes, I don't specialize. People, oh, you do it. I was like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
In the location where you operate most, where the school is located, what would you say are some of the greatest needs there for students, for individuals who are going to school? What are some of their greatest needs?
The greatest needs that I see is lack financial help, because many of these students will not pay their college fees. I am the one now, because I know where I'm coming from. I'm the one who's always saying, let him go and then pay it, and then try to pay it as soon as they have completed or so. That's what happened to me at college. I didn't pay a cent. I went through my first college without paying a dime, but I was embarrassed every Monday. There will be General Assembly, and the principal will have called my name to say I've paid nothing every Monday. So I'll be in General Assembly, and that's all the students in the college. And they'll call my name, Sherril Edmonson, nothing. I was like, a lot of students went home, but I didn't go home because I knew I didn't care at this point. Nothing bothers me in that sense. I wasn't even embarrassed. And so I went through college not paying a dollar, but it was not as an embarrassing time, but people would have called it. But for me, I wasn't embarrassed. I went through, and I paid my school fee after I left college. So
Mm.
I had to pay installments afterwards. You know, it's not even so these days. It's kind of difficult, but
Mm.
and that's me now. I'm trying to help these students the same. So I think financial help, I see that's the major challenge that the students are having in regards. I don't think they are lacking much other thing in terms of maybe food, clothing, shelter, but paying a school the college fee. Parents don't know how to save towards college bills. So they'll be able to do high school, which is very limited. You don't have to pay a lot. But when it comes to college, you are paying like 100 times what you have paid at high school, at secondary level. So a lot of parents have not made preparation, and so when they reach this stage, they don't know what to do,
Mm.
including my parents.
So,
And then I got a scholarship. I went to do Southern New Hampshire University through
mm.
a part scholarship, and then I got another scholarship, and I went to Birmingham University in England. So it's just my life is just faith based, and I have to try to give back.
Is any aspect of the education system, tuition is subsidized by the government of Jamaica
Yes,
at your
yes,
school?
yes. Currently, if you in the first 2 years of college can be the government pay. I think for us it's like 1/3 of your school fee.
One third.
1/3. The government contributes 1/3 when you are just leaving secondary level.
What
So they
about private?
for our college is 1/3. For other universities, it may be less than 1/3 according to the amount of college fees.
What about private corporations? They contribute any towards education? They provide scholarships.
It's not easy. I I know there are very few that contribute scholarships. No, very few that we have access to, but they are there. I know there are the banks. Few banks they have been contributing towards that. I know that there are few organizations that does
Mm.
still contribute. to education.
So there is some support. The
There
government.
is some support. The government does a lot, you know. The government does a lot, though, but that's again lack of knowledge. I want to be, in the long run, that's what I really wanted to do. I want to, get out of this seat, get out of the office chair, and go into these deeper rural communities to enlighten these people that there's access to these things. I don't think the government will like spell it out so much, but it is there. They are doing somewhat somehow. But there are other opportunities apart from the paying that amount. Persons who are of what they call it, PATH program, they also have access to college tuition from the government.
Mama Sherril, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your long-term vision and legacy. All right. So again, you're watching Life-Changing Conversation to Inspire Action, and my guest is Mama Sherril, as she says she's called. So let's take a quick break, and we'll come back.
Of hearts that strive through fire and flame, they find their way, becoming iron where courage holds sway. Becoming iron, with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight, becoming iron, shining in the night. Faces the darkest night, the empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Together they rise, conquering fears, becoming iron through trials and fears. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction, rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight, becoming iron, shining in the night. Becoming iron, shining in the night. The brave man faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Becoming iron knows where he belongs. Becoming iron, shining in the night. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction, rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Men becoming iron, shining in the night. The brave man faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong, shining in the night. And the tales unfold and the battle's new. Convictions light sees them through, from abysses deep to the morning light. They becoming iron in the endless fight. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire. Tales of courage and conviction, rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Men becoming iron, shining in the night. In the tales of old and the battles new, convictions light sees them through. From abysses deep to the morning light, they become iron in the endless fight. They become iron in the endless fight. In the tales of old and the battles new, convictions light sees them through.
Welcome back to Life-Changing Conversation to Inspire Action. And my guest is Mama Sherril, Mrs. Sherril Edmonson-Ramsaroop. And today she's inspiring actions. Now, Ms. Sherril, one of the questions I like to ask, and I have a request, right? I want you to get into the camera as close as you can. And I know that throughout life you've achieved a lot, coming from, as you state, impoverished situations, right? quite challenging, but you've done it. You've done your work. You've focused on your life and you've helped others. But I know you didn't do this by yourself. Somewhere along the line, others helped you. So I want you to just pinpoint, pick out one person, and I want you to talk to them. I want you to say thank you to them. And you can call their name if you want. Just one person. I wanted to show you to show some gratitude.
All right. I'm not sure where this lady is right now, but when I was going to high school, I lived with this lady, Brenda. I was having it so hard at this time. Was exam time. I run for exams, and she had one room. She was in the administration office, and she had only one room. And she took me in, and I slept on the floor. At one point, I felt as if I didn't want to be in her space, so I slept in the bathroom. And I want to say I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, Brenda. Wherever you are, if you're hoping to see this, I think that's one of the greatest achievement, one of the greatest thing that ever happened. I am always happy for my parents because they're always, they're always there. You don't hear any cursing or anything around you. They're always so humble, and just so I appreciate them. My sister Doreen, oh my God, she has been my mother after my mother could not manage anymore because I'm one of the younger ones. So my sister Doreen was always there. She would have used all whatever she earns just to ensure that we eat something. Oh, my sister Doreen. And all my sisters and brothers, they're always there for me. Always there. We live really close. I love that. We live close together.
So outside of your family, Brenda is that person.
Yeah, yes, I think so.
Is that person. And I know, of course, you had to name your parents and your siblings, your sister, and it's awesome. Awesome. It's a community, right? It's a village. And you all supported each other, and lessons learned from your childhood growing up, and now you're using those lessons to make a difference as well. So I congratulate you and I encourage you to continue to do that. As we're drawing down towards the end of our conversation today, legacy, I want to talk about legacy and vision and yours. So what legacy do you hope to leave through your contributions to education, community development, and ministry?
I would like to have a foundation that empowers even teachers themselves to believe in themselves and in the students that comes to them, because every person has something that can carry them somewhere. And not I remember when I just started teaching, it was people didn't have any faith in the students or in the person around them. It bothered me. So I would love to encourage and have this foundation where I can do training, leadership training to let others know that there's something good inside of everybody that can come out to let them benefit their community, their country, and their families. And it can capture all areas. So it would have captured the teaching career, my personal goal out there, and also in the ministry with God, to ensure that the communities are developed, individuals are developed, and the communities are developed, and the country at large. I would also like to help the government in streamlining, like a curriculum that can take care of students who don't really have a learning problem, but they have a background problem. And it doesn't mean that the parents didn't do well, that they can't do well, So that would also be a part of this a move, And I think I'm going to get there very soon, That will.
Well, I want to make a suggestion. You want to start a foundation. I want you to start that foundation right now, today, at this very minute. So when this conversation is over, I want to inspire you to do that. This needs to be the day that you're not just talking about it, not what you want to do, but it's the big. So can I hold you accountable to that?
Yes, I will. I'm grateful for the motivation as well.
And you have the name for the foundation yet? Do you want to give me a name? No?
Glory will be a part of the name.
Okay. All right.
It will be a part of the name. I don't think it will be the name though. So the name is not yet fully formed, but I'm sure that Glory Rain will be a part of the name.
So your foundation is activated. Just get caught up with the paperwork and do what you need to do to make it happen. Right? So, we're drawing close to wrapping up our conversation. Let's take a moment to some reflection. If you could go back and give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be and why?
Get out there to be, I could have gotten the word to many others. I could have impacted more lives, but I think I was maybe afraid to like do social media, to meet other persons who could have gotten help. I've helped maybe thousands of persons through college and church and community, but I could have reached more in other countries. And that's where I think I would have like changed in that time. But I think I did a lot better than what I would have done not done. So that's my main thing. I think I regret not doing that.
And one of the good thing about reflecting, right, and being introspective is that whatever you're seeing that you didn't do, you can do today.
Yes.
Right? And again, I'm going to challenge you to do that. All the advice that you're giving yourself or would have done things differently, now is a great opportunity to take that advice and do it now. Because now you're probably more prepared to execute and to deliver on those advice. So challenge you to do that. What is the most significant lesson life has taught you throughout your journey so far? And how do you share that lesson with others?
Poverty is not a crime. Poverty is not a shame. Poverty is to make you strong. And I've learned that it makes you strong, and it makes you like, if you take it the right way, you realize how much it is that you have that you think you don't have. So that's a lesson that I've learned. And I want to encourage everybody who maybe think that, finance is their greatest challenge, that you may realize that finance is not really a challenge if you try to like look to see exactly what you want to do and how you want to make it. Then the help maybe will come, and it comes from within, inside of you first, so that somebody else on the outside can see. And I think that's what happened where I've received 2 scholarships for studies. So I'm encouraging you, don't sit and lock things inside. Get out there, speak to anybody that comes around you, say something to them. Don't lock in your own little space saying, I can't. Always say, I can. Can I stop there?
I can, and I will. Let me add that to it. So, Sherril, you've said quite a lot, and very inspiring, impactful information you've shared with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go? And final thoughts?
There's so much. I want to also encourage persons who feel like they are less than others. I always tell myself from the age, when you see your boss or whoever, we must have respect for those who are put up above us. But you always put yourself in that space as the manager. Always put yourself in that space as the leader. Always tell yourself that I am the manager, I'm the leader, and then all the fringes that come with it, you're going to generate them, and then that's how others can see that you have value.
You are significant.
You're significant.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's a wrap for today's episode on life-changing conversations to inspire actions. I want to take a moment to extend my deepest gratitude to you, Sherril. You're an incredible person. You're just doing amazing work. And I want to say thank you for sharing your time, insights, and stories with us today, your true stories. Your presence truly is making a major difference in the lives of so many people. And you have done that today on this platform as well. So great conversation. You've truly met the objective. You've inspired actions in a big, big time way. And of course, I need to give a big shout out to our audience who's watching it live and who will watch the replay. You know, it's a big deal. We appreciate your support. It's because of you that this show can continue and so forth. So I want to let's make today's discussion be a spark, a reminder, or even a call to action in your own journey. And I'm talking to everyone, right? And I want to say that until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep those good vibes flowing. Thank you for being part of this experience, and we'll catch you on the next show. Sherril, I ask that you just stay behind for a second as we take a break, and then we come back and have a conversation. All right?
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as He told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, He is in me. I am a bold kid, He loves me, standing firm on His word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because He is with me. Be bold.